Hey all, Pedantic Skeptic here, and so I'm gonna be publishing a few videos. Um, I haven't decided if I um really want to do a deep dive on a certain creator yet. So um, stay tuned for kind of my decision on that. I'm really torn between giving people attention that they don't deserve and addressing things. But I did want to make a compilation video of somebody who calls himself Wildman Chris. He also has a YouTube channel. Not this. Hang on a sec. I gotta find it. Sorry. Let's see. It's Is Jesus really real? Will Jesus ever forgive me? And it's a lot of weird shit. And the reason I wanted to do a little bit of a deep dive into this guy is because, for whatever reason, some of his content shows up on my recommended. And I think this guy has a serious crush on Aron Ra, as well as Matt Dillahunty and a few other people. But he posts these really unhinged, really odd videos several times a day, where he rants about a number of things. First, he rants about how there's like irrefutable evidence for Jesus that nobody listens to. He talks about wanting to kill people. He talks about not liking how long his arms are. To each their own, but I basically wanted to go through this channel for a few reasons. One, if y'all are feeling bad about your lives, you'll get a glimpse into someone else's miserable life and maybe feel a little better about yourselves. I hope. Two, I wanted to call attention to this because this guy is not the only unhinged Christian out there who has these weird ideas about what atheism is and how atheists act and things like that. And this is kind of what we're dealing with. And I don't want to say that this is the majority of the Christian or religious community, but it's this type of stuff that permeates our society. And I feel that there's a lot to be said about people who want to, talk about how much they hate a certain demographic. And let me make this very clear. I don't hate Christians. I think Christianity is ridiculous, absurd, preposterous, and I think the actions of some Christian groups are despicable, but as a whole, I don't hate somebody just for being Christian. Now, that's important because I do sometimes respond to people who I genuinely do not like. I wouldn't say I hate them, but I genuinely do not like them. But it's not solely because of what, they believe as far as Jesus and God and stuff like that. It's more about their actions and what they advocate for. Now, this guy has some content, and I will tell you, some of the, I'm kind of like responding to some of his stuff. Some of it is me just giving some snark back, so maybe you'll get a good laugh. This isn't meant to be like an in-depth analysis too much, but this guy has some serious problems. I will warn you, he does use some terms that are not necessarily the most up-to-date and accurate or politically correct. So there's going to be a little bit of that in this video, and I think that there's just a lot. He has a couple of YouTube channels, he has a couple TikToks, accounts, and things like that. We're looking at just one of his things, but he likes to harp on a few specific people in the atheist community, and I think it's a little bit of a problem. So let's just get right into this.
See something that really makes me angry at
Yes.
God, that makes the anger rise to the top like this, like a thermometer put in hot lava. Makes me lose control, and I don't want to curse God. I definitely don't want to blaspheme the Holy Ghost. But when I see this makes me curse the Holy Ghost.
Okay.
And I don't want to curse him. I do not deny him. I do not denounce Jesus. No, hell no. I learned my lesson. But I'll curse him, the Holy Ghost, without denying Jesus. Because I get so angry when I see this. Look at our arms. Number one, look how unsexy I look.
I don't think it has anything to do with length of your arms, dude.
Look how much taller I am than this girl.
I mean, I have a friend who has a friend, and this friend is taller, but has smaller toes than this other friend. It happens.
And look how my forearm is barely longer than hers. Her arm looks like a healthy V.
I mean, it looks like a sausage, to be quite frank. I think the both of you could stand to lose quite a bit of weight, but that's a different matter.
My arm looks like a unsexy, retarded L.
I'm gonna have to cut that out of there.
And that makes me curse. I don't want to say it, but that makes me curse. That makes me lash out. The reason I'm saying I curse the Holy Ghost is because this. And when
Let's see what else this guy's got.
I do not want to curse God. I don't want to curse the Holy Ghost. God's backed me into a corner. I'm doubting if he's
I mean, some people like being backed into corners, if you catch my drift.
real. I'm angry at God. I'm angry.
Child, there's no need to be angry with me.
I just don't give a shit. If I'm saved, I'm saved. I believe I was born again.
I was only born once. And the first time I was born didn't quite go as planned, so it's a good thing I didn't have to repeat that shit.
In that jail in 2014 of November. Can you lose your salvation? I believe you can. So I pray for me that I don't send God away from me. But right now, and
Gluttony is a sin.
if I'm not, if I'm not saved, then all three of them, then God can go to hell.
I mean, it depends on, never mind.
Just give me what I want and let me pay the ultimate cost. But I don't think that's the case. I hope. Yeah, I just don't. Cause I gotta know I'm saved. But I'm angry at God. If he's not big enough to be able to take my anger, he's not God.
I mean, I don't think he cares, honestly.
But right now, I'm shooting the middle finger to God. I'm angry at God.
Are you going to get into why? I mean, this is a 17-minute video, and I'd like you to cut to the chase.
Fuck you, God. Let me sit down.
He's used to doing a lot of that, I can tell you that much.
God, I curse you that I cannot get any traffic on social media. God, I curse you. God, I curse you. That I'm not alpha male enough.
This has some wicked incel vibes right here.
Get people didn't watch me on YouTube. I curse you, God, that I'm not.
I mean, I think it's kind of sad because nobody should be an incel. There are ways, there are apps where you can find literally anybody if you're really that desperate. Doesn't matter which way you swing, if you swing one particular way versus another or not. There are a multitude of ways you can get some, and the fact that you haven't been able to, even with those ways, means that either A, you don't understand that these are things, or B, you are so inept, so incapable of attracting a suitable mate, even for a night, that it's unfortunately very sad. And it would be one thing if you were, an asexual who's like, well, you know what, I don't want to fuck. But you clearly are mad about the fact that you haven't been able to do just that. So I don't think that's the case.
Able to convey my points across crystal clear. I curse you, God, that I have to take all this medication.
I mean, I'm sure some of it's like blood pressure and cholesterol medication. If you ate properly and you weren't, a glutton, you probably wouldn't have to take half those medications. But whatever.
I curse you, God, that I have to take medication to be able to sleep at night. I can.
Who needs sleep? Just drink a Red Bull. I'm just kidding.
Not just sleep like a normal person. But here's, I make.
So there's actually this weird and kind of cool hypothesis about sleep where we're not really supposed to sleep through the entire night. We're supposed to be kind of taking power naps throughout the night where we sleep for a couple hours, we wake up, take a piss or something, walk around for a few minutes, and then go back to sleep. And it's actually healthier to do that than to try and just sleep through the entire night. For me personally, that's the way most of my nights go if I'm sleeping that night. Some nights I don't sleep, and then some nights I, go to bed, 11, 12 in the morning or something, 12 midnight, and I get up, 8 to 10 hours later without waking at all. But, generally speaking, we're supposed to get up a couple times during the night, and that's perfectly healthy and natural.
Make a deal with God. I know you say you can't make deals with God. Why not just don't give?
All right, what else have we got here? Oh yeah, I'm sure this was this guy when he was 8 years old.
There's some of you sitting right here, the sound of my voice right now. You have your name on this church roll or
No, thank
I
you.
do not want to curse.
Let's see what else. Can brain damage cause it? True. Let's see.
Here's something where someone addresses something that's been a source of distress and doubt for me, making me doubt that Jesus is real. Until I get some fucking goddamn answers, I'm gonna believe in Jesus, that he rose from the dead just enough
I like all the rubber duckies in the background on that bookshelf.
to get by. But I'm gonna live my goddamn life my goddamn way. I'm gonna do what makes me feel good, and I shoot the middle finger to God until I get some fucking answers.
I don't think we're gonna get answers, but
And I answered to him for him, but fuck you, God. Fuck you. I've seen some things that make me say, fuck you, God.
just look at the Riley. It's on the Riley. We all love Riley. Yeah, it's a Riley.
Fuck you. I curse you from the bottom of my heart.
I am still the same self. Or at least you think you are. As the split brain studies have suggested, you appear to be one person because your brain operates as one person. Split the brain into two halves that can't communicate with each other, and each half develops its own personality. In the case of the person that was both an atheist and a Christian, I'm curious what their salvation status would be.
Yeah, I was asking this question a long time ago. If somebody was more...
How is somebody who's missing teeth able to eat enough food to look like this guy?
multiple personalities, one of the split personalities gets saved.
Okay. Multiple personality disorder, or DID, as it's more formally known, and split brain are two different things. Now, I know that people who have DID can have alters that have different religions, but they're not the same thing. Split brain is a physiological or a physical split in brain matter, whereas DID is a psychological one.
There's a person, and what happens to the person? What happens when the personalities are integrated?
Alright, let's see what else this guy's got. And this guy also has like 4 other channels where he posts these incoherent things, and we're not going to go through all of them because, I mean, like, let's see what this has to do.
What is the definition of societal political correctness?
I don't really know. I think political correctness has more to do with using words that don't offend people. Although personally, I try to go with more accurate terminology. So, some words are the correct words to say because they're more accurate for describing a particular thing. Political and societal correctness have more to do with not offending people. And I'm not saying that A, those things are mutually exclusive, or B, one is more important than the other, but if you really are curious, you should probably ask a social scientist, not make a video of it on YouTube or ask biology people, because I'm a biology people.
It is when might takes flight, leaving only the weak to try to thrive and survive. Political correctness in society is when the nation becomes a pedocracy, a nation ruled by children, little
What? Is this like a Lord of the Flies situation or something?
kiddies, trying to tell the grown-ups how to run things. And we all know that the weak must die.
I do like the kitty cat blanket on the chair.
So get this society politically correct and China can take over the United States and America and kill us all. Next thing you know, you're going to be, instead of good-looking American girls and California girls on the streets, you're going to see slant-eyed sluts.
What? What are we listening to?
And we all know that American girls are the best-looking girls in the world. Those Oriental girls ain't shit on American girls.
What? Let's see. Oh, look, there's a video of this guy.
Sometimes even the experts fuck up and don't get it right. Bart Urban.
Okay, this guy really needs to, like, put on a shirt and needs to, watch what he eats. Maybe get on a treadmill.
Oh, let me show you where he fucks up.
So in the book of Revelation, we're taught that when Jesus destroys the enemies of God at the Battle of Armageddon, the beast of the sea rouses his armies, and Christ comes down from heaven and wipes them out. Christ then begins to rule the earth for 1,000 years. And this 1,000 years is widely misunderstood by people today. It's called the millennium. Millennium would be the Latin phrase for 1,000 years. And Christ rules for 1,000 years. The enemy is gone. Satan has been put into a bottomless pit for 1,000 years and locked up into a bottomless pit. And Christ rules with the martyrs.
Okay, I guess. I'm not familiar with that story.
He doesn't rule with everybody. It's only those who have been martyred for their faith who rule with.
Alright, we're gonna draw on Riley with his orange Sharpie now. I'm just kidding. We can never do that.
Christ for that 1,000 years. After.
Excuse me? Turn with me!
My sister would get really, really mad if I wrote a curse word on the dog with this orange Sharpie.
I know it says right. I know it says I saw the souls of them which were beheaded for the witness of Christ, and they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. We got to take all of the Bible together as a whole, not just cherry pick certain verses. Turn with me in your Bible to Revelation 2, starting at verse 25.
I think I'd rather just pet Riley. Or, oh yeah, you can't really see Riley very well here. Here's Riley. Let's see, what else do we have? Okay.
I have tried viciously to get Aron Ra.
Look at him stuffing his face. I mean, not that Aron Ra should be stuffing his face either, but goddamn, like this is like a mukbang channel mix. Wait, Riley, I hope that's just a rib and not like, yeah, that's just a rib. I love Riley. Follow Riley's example. Riley eats like half of her meals at a time, and she's not fat because she's a Riley. She's a pure being. She doesn't live in sin. She's the Riley. Um, but like this is just some weird like mukbang slash rant slash unhinged whatever garbage channel.
To debunk this irrefutable evidence I have for Jesus being the real religion.
Jesus is not a religion. Jesus is a figure in a group of religions.
Yep, I'm having my doubts. Because those false prophecies in Ezekiel, I have tried. I have tried viciously to get Aron Ra. To debunk this irrefutable evidence I have for Jesus being the real religion.
This guy needs a fucking gastric bypass and a lobotomy and an antipsychotic in his life, honestly. But I think Aaron kind of has a lot going on. I don't know if some unhinged dude on the internet who makes really obnoxious videos like this.
Yep, I'm having my doubts. Because those false prophecies in Ezekiel, they proving there was no Moses. And yet, Christianity is the only religion back in the 1900s.
What? Christianity was not the only religion that was around back in the 1900s.
When people would mock it, and there's a pattern.
Okay, real quick. Sorry, there's mucus in the back of my throat. I gotta swallow. People are allowed to mock religion. Now, I don't condone bad behavior against religious people per se, but I think it is perfectly acceptable and permissible to make fun of religious beliefs and ideas. I think that any dumb idea deserves to be ridiculed. Religious or not, I don't think religion gets to be put up on a pedestal where it's above people expressing discontentment with it.
It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens enough to show a pattern that maybe Jesus is real, because I can get that these stories are not just from one preacher, but from preachers all over. People who
from pizzas all over. What are like people like writing with the pepperoni on the pizzas like Jesus or something?
Preachers begged to convert to Christianity. They said no. They either said no and mocked it, and they died mysteriously.
In the early 1900s, a lot of people died mysteriously. We didn't have a good grasp then on why people fucking died. Now, the early 1900s were certainly better than the early 1800s. I'll give you that, but I don't necessarily think it's a causative relationship there.
Two motorcycle kids mocked Christianity, blasphemed God, cursing out the preacher, and they drove off, and they were hit by a car.
Did they even have cars back? I'm just kidding. Actually. Nice. Okay. So there were, cars that were around in the early 1900s. Okay. What? should watch that. Oops.
Both killed instantly. God blasphemed the Holy Spirit, killed within 3 days. One guy said, I want to get saved now. He walked into a field struck by lightning.
I had a thought. To combat the obesity epidemic, without having to get people to change their eating habits, what if we excised like 2/3 of a person's small intestine? Because we live in a world of calorie abundance, and if we remove the part of the small intestine, so fewer calories can be absorbed by the body, then the presence of hyperpalatable foods that are calorie dense, and that trick your body into feeling hungrier wouldn't make a difference because you're not absorbing all the calories, so it would actually become biologically necessary to eat, 6,000 calories in a day.
There's nowhere, and you will not find one case of anybody who said, I don't want to become a Mormon, or I don't want to believe in those hidden gods, or I don't believe in Allah is not God and Muhammad is not his prophet. There's not one person who said that and died mysteriously.
Oh, I am pretty sure, just given how many people have existed and how many people have probably said something like that, plus how many people have probably died mysteriously. I don't even know what he means by died mysteriously, but the I'm sure that's incorrect.
On a freakish circumstances. You can't show me one example. Aron Ra, I challenge you to find me one example. You'll not find an example from Hinduism, Islam, Mormonism, where somebody mocked or Catholicism, where somebody mocked the Mother Mary and said Mary was not a virgin or something like that and was killed for mocking Mary.
I'm pretty sure the virgin birth isn't unique to Catholicism.
Or refusing to become a Catholic. You'll never hear one story of a Protestant who was asked to become a Catholic.
Protestants get asked to become Catholics all the time.
Tried their best to convert him to Catholicism. He said no. And when he was killed for saying no.
Well, I don't know what to tell you about that.
You'll find plenty of instances of Southern Baptists who tried to win them over to their faith, who said no and were killed mysteriously.
Okay, you know what? Crap. Let's all take one shot of apple whiskey every time he says somebody died mysteriously, okay? Hang on. There are white grade mites all over my apple whiskey because my roaches are right next to me. I sleep with roaches, guys, but, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of... Just make sure they're not in the alcohol. I think we're good. The problem is... See them in the shot glass. No, they're in there. No. Now it's portion cup, guys. So one of the things is I am an uber lightweight when it comes to booze. Like, I could legit get drunk on the rest of this. He's up.
My evidence is this. Three businessmen making fun of the service. And the preacher raised his hand, pointed at them. All three of you have crossed over God's deadline, and God's going to kill all three of you. And the next day, all three died.
Do you have sources for all this? Like, let me just see. That's a good song. God. Yeah, man, I gotta get another bottle. This apple whiskey is really good. It's Jack Daniel's Tennessee apple whiskey. Finely crafted. Good stuff. And these um booze bottles are autoclavable. And so whenever we drink, and I have a big thing of vodka upstairs right now, but I do a lot of tissue culture and lab stuff. These are great for like holding like really toxic chemicals that would dissolve plastic, like hydrochloric acid, or they're great for autoclaving if you're going to be pouring plates, so you can fill it about 2/3 of the way up with your media, toss in the autoclave. The cap will survive. I'm pretty sure the cap is just made of polypropylene, but I'm not entirely sure. But this can be autoclaved. So I save my glass booze bottles. I'm a raging alcoholic. I'm just kidding. But these are really good for the autoclave.
Autopsies revealed nothing wrong, but all three died. And one of them even knew he was not a believer, but he told the secretary before he died, "You see that set of sun? That's before that sun sets. My two buddies were on hell. Before that sun sets, I'll be dead and join them." And he died.
I mean, if you predict you're going to die and you end up dying, there are a lot of things you can do along the way to ensure that happens.
Right after that. But Aron Ra.
Aron.
You debate Kent Hovind.
Okay then.
Are you calling him by his name inmate because he won't do something you wanted to do?
He calls. Okay, I don't remember the number, but Kent Hovind went to jail for about 10 years for tax fraud. Now somebody made a comment on one of my videos on my main channel about him being in prison for structuring and net tax fraud. Structuring is a form of tax fraud, okay?
Aron Ra, until you cowboy up and meet me in a face-to-face.
No, this already in this like beginning, he looks like on SpongeBob when Patrick's like, "Who you calling Pinhead?" And yeah.
From now on, I'm gonna start to call you Aaron Nelson. You are not the Son of God. I blaspheme the Son of God.
Aron blasphemes the Son of God all the time. I mean, blasphemy is a victimless crime.
The Son of God and you can both go to hell. I curse them both. I mock them both.
Okay, have fun with that.
If anything, they're the devil, and the devil's not God. Not hell, Satan, but fuck you, Satan. Most atheists, including you, Aron Nelson, are too intellectually lazy to listen to my evidence without...
Just give me your evidence. So, I have ADHD, and I have a hard time sitting still for very long, even when I'm tipsy, okay? And we're 5 minutes into a 20-minute video, and you still haven't given your evidence. I would like your evidence.
I'm just blowing it off because it threatens you. Because if it's true, it makes you feel threatened because you're not 100% sure there's no God. So I present my evidence because you cannot debunk it.
I will pay this guy $20 to record a video responding to me, but he has to be eating kale in the video. I want to watch this guy eat kale. I have an obsession with kale. I think kale is beautiful. It is delicious. It is something that I don't want any human on this earth to be denied the right to. I think everybody who has ever lived, and I feel bad for the people who lived before the brassica were fucking domesticated and they never got to experience kale. But kale is an amazing thing, and this guy might benefit from eating some kale. And I don't mean that as a fat joke. I like to make fat jokes, and you know, I try to mix up like the things I joke about and because I don't want it to seem like I'm targeting any one specific thing because I just like to make stupid, snarky comments about whatever I can. But I genuinely want this guy to record himself eating some kale for me. Um, and not for any weird reasons, I'm not gonna like play with myself watching him eat kale. I'm not into that, but I would just get some joy knowing that he has experienced kale.
It makes you wonder, hey, there just might be a God.
I mean, there might be. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it.
That Pascal's wager is a bitch.
He's a Pastel's wager. It's Pascal's wager. Jesus fuck.
Aaron Nelson. Damn, you're fat. Damn.
It's like the pot calling the kettle black.
And you look about 75 years old, but you're only fucking... Look at this shit.
What, he's in his 60s, right? Yeah, he's 60-something.
Born 10 years after I was born. You're goddamn only 61 years goddamn old, 61 years old, and you look like a goddamn 75-year-old motherfucking...
I mean, he doesn't even have gray hairs. He doesn't look 75 to me. Like, I don't know. I like Aron Ra. Although, I think he'd benefit from losing some weight, but I like the guy.
Fat pig, goddamn, what's wrong? What's up with that? You hit the goddamn gym.
Look who's talking. Like, this guy has this double chin hanging down. And, like, he has a video of himself shirtless. I'm gonna spare you guys that. We don't need vomiting, but,
Or... run your ass into my body.
Although Aron I've seen look a lot fatter in the past. I think he's done some work on losing some weight.
Podcast and let's speak face to face. Aaron Nelson. There's another person that's really fucking pissed me off. What do...
I like how his whole search is just Aron Ra stuff. Huh? I mean, like, I'm a fan of Aron Ra too, but I don't go that hardcore.
What I had to do to get y'all to put me on the map.
On the map, on the map, on the map.
To notice me. What would I have to do? Would I have to do something to get me in the news? In infamy? Let's talk about Michael Jones. I mean, yeah, Michael
Ooh, I wonder what Manor Rabbits
Jones, inspired philosophy. Now, I tell you something, bitch. If I look like him, I'd want to kill myself. He is playing average as fuck.
Genesis 20, Abraham.
Look at that. If I look like him, I'd fucking kill myself.
I mean, he doesn't look that bad.
If I can get cosmetic surgery.
I'm just entertained. This is actually kind of funny.
Why the fuck am I talking about my brother? I don't think he's a Christian. He's an apologist, for fuck's sake. And...
like, I don't know what's worse, this dude or fucking, Shock of God, who makes, I was going to publish a video on Shock of God, but he doesn't have a lot of YouTube content anymore. He puts it on, like, other, platforms, and it was just a little convoluted for me to, like, go through all of his content, and so, like, I just decided against it. I didn't want to like send more people his way. Um, but I mean, I kind of don't want to send more people towards fucking Wildman Chris over here. But there's definitely some weird shit going on. But Shock of God, for people who don't know, is some guy who claims to be Christian. Um, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't know. He's kind of nasty. He's kind of a troll. He makes these rant videos with a GoPro while he's on a motorcycle, and it's not the safest thing to do. Um, but the guy has some weird things about like you have to prove that atheism is accurate, and he says weird shit about like atheists being the like highest suicide rate demographic. That's not entirely true. The highest suicide rate demographic is actually cis white men, but take that for what it is. And then talks about like authoritarian regimes being all atheistic, which isn't true either. But he's just kind of a derp.
I've seen him talk. When he addresses people's questions, he's so arrogant. Don't you know the book of Proverbs condemns arrogant people? Like he comes off as a know-it-all with no love. Though I have all knowledge, the Apostle Paul wrote, and have not charity, I'm nothing. Why I desperately wanted this man to review my video about Trinity, because I think I know how God is 3 in 1, but I want to make sure I'm making sense. So I want him to review my video, and plus I need the traffic. I need people to know I exist.
I beg to differ.
And he will not, because I'm nobody, he won't, he just blows me off.
I don't need to know about your relationship with this guy. Blow each other off for all I care, but, I don't need to know.
He does not have any love for me.
You just told me he blows you off.
Fellow Christian. No, not a scintilla ounce of love for me.
I don't know what your arrangement is, but please just make a point.
He sees me flying here on social media. And look at him, a millionaire. All the fucking money. He doesn't have to work now. He can sit on his ass in the shade with a glass of lemonade, with servants working for him, because he's all of the money he makes for getting on social media and running his fucking mouth. And I have not made a goddamn penny from social media.
Neither have I, and I'm not bitching about it. My channel has currently like 8 subscribers or something like that. And I don't really care about subscriber count, but, I would like more people to just kind of know what my perspective on some of these things would be. But, at the end of the day, a lot of my videos I make, late at night or, when I have nothing else going on, because I usually have something else going on. I'm, the reason I'm making this video right now is because otherwise I would just be watching Law and Order or something like that. And I was like, you know what, let me just do a little bit more video making for tonight. And, right now it's, March 31st. I may not upload the resultant video from this filming for several days or weeks even. I don't really know yet.
He sees, the Bible says in 1 John, whoso hath this world good, whoso hath the, I curse God if I cannot speak straight again. Whoso hath this world's goods, and seeth his brother in need, shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him. How dwelleth the love of God in him? And the other,
I am, that one for, like, 3.5 ounce shot of apple whiskey is, like, I feel some, like, weird feeling, like, between my eyes right here, and, like, down my spine.
early church father said, You can have all the faith you want. If it does not work by love, it will not profit you.
I should just change my name to the Snarky Skeptic. I haven't really snarky more than pedantic lately.
You're showing me low love. I'm angry. And yes, I'm talking shit about you. If you're a true Christian, you'll not cherry pick the commands of Jesus and throw them away. You'll follow the commands of Jesus to be good to love them that persecute you and pray for them which persecute you. But you're like vast 99.9% Christians. You cherry pick which commands of Jesus to follow, and the rest of them you say, "Oh, that's for the kingdom ways. That's not for the church of God." And what's up?
Why is my plant light still on when it's 11:30 and I set it to go off at 11? Whatever.
With your plan of salvation? Are you one of those Christians who believe all you got to do is to get saved, to say a little prayer, say the name of Jesus, say you believe? Don't you know getting saved is one of the hardest things to do?
I have a serious question. He's wearing a Batman shirt, right? Isn't that idolatry? Isn't the Bible, against idolatry?
I don't know. You have to strive. You have to struggle to get in that narrow gate. You have to force your way in.
I think you're going to have more of a struggle getting through a narrow gate than this guy.
You have to keep praying and beg until God finally...
Oh, my nose is running. Ah, tissue. Perfect.
You finally find God. When you find God, you know it. It's down here. There have been people who prayed for years. It took years before God finally saved them. Why? I don't know. Charles Spurgeon wrote once, he knew that people who had been seeking religion, that is to get...
This is really gross, but, there is a dirt in my snot. And it's probably because a couple hours ago I was running around through, roach and beetle cages. And, roaches and beetles are great, but they're Detroit warriors. They live in dirt, and they actually make dirt. So I inhaled some of the roach dirt as I was feeding and watering my cockroaches and beetles earlier today.
Be saved, and God would not save them. Why? They asked Charles Spurgeon, "Why won't God save me? Why won't God let me find him?"
Oh, there it goes. The plant light just went out.
And come to find out, they had done something wrong to another person in the past. Until they resolved that issue, God would not save them. And Charles Spurgeon quoted that verse of scripture: "Before you go off, if you bring you..."
I can wrap my hand completely around my wrist like this. My fat.
Gift to the altar. Remember, you have all against your brother. Leave there for that gift.
What other kind of shit is on this guy's channel?
Love. My psychiatrist today, her name is Donna Ransby.
You shouldn't be doxing your psychiatrist on the internet.
Look this up for me. Google.
Oh yeah, this guy thinks his arms are too short. What's he, a fucking Displetosaurus? But he thinks his arms are too short. He needs longer arms. He has a TikTok, and he actually went to a grocery store and lined up his arms with other people. Because he wanted to make sure that his arms weren't too short.
Arm lengthening. And came up with this.
Okay. You can lengthen bones. You break the bone. Then you put a screw thingy that attaches to both sides of the break. And over time you keep stretching it. You don't let the bone fully heal. You keep stretching that fracture apart so that more bone fills in that space, and that will lengthen the limb. Now, I don't think it can add more than a couple of inches, but
it is possible. She also found something interesting about people with autism, certain traits they have.
Oh boy. I can't wait to hear this one.
And one of them is T-Rex syndrome.
Okay. Yes. So, sometimes when we walk, we have our arms kind of like this. Okay? I think it's a vestibular thing. So, when I'm walking, I tend to lean forward a little bit more than normal people. And so when I have my arms kind of in this position, it helps to counter that, and it shifts my center of balance back normally. You would notice this mostly if I'm going down the stairs or something like that.
That they tend to have shorter arms than
No, it doesn't have to do with the length of your arm. Jesus fuck.
normal people. I was diagnosed with Asperger's.
Okay, so first of all, Asperger's is an outdated term, and I don't want to say that that means this guy is lying about his diagnosis, but I do question his truthfulness if he hasn't been keeping up with the medical terminology. Like when people say they have ADD, when ADD is now a subset of ADHD, I do question, how honest they're being. Somebody else said that BPD was a mood disorder, but it's a personality disorder, and so they got mad at me for questioning how truthful they were being. But like, one, I have the right to question your truthfulness, but two, if you were actually seeing a real psychiatrist who's diagnosing you, they would explain this to you.
In January of 1995, and Asperger's is now on the high-end spectrum of.
It's not high versus low functioning anymore. It's support needs system. I don't care.
Autism. They phased it out. They phased out Asperger's and just call it autism.
Okay. Asperger's has always been a type of autism. They just stopped using the term because it's politically incorrect.
On the high-end spectrum.
What's a high-end spectrum?
Not the low-end spectrum. You do not know how unhappy I am.
I think we can tell. Although this is making me kind of happy. It is kind of funny, and it's better than what else I could be up to right now.
That my arms are not long. One of the supreme joys.
So, I have a theory. If you got really skinny, your chest and your stomach would go inwards, and so your arms would look longer in proportion to the rest of your body. So, there are a couple ways you can do this. You can line your gut with plastic, swallow some saran wrap. I can give you some tapeworm eggs. I had friends in high school who lost weight by eating styrofoam packing peanuts. I don't recommend doing that because styrofoam is carcinogenic. Please don't eat styrofoam. Literally, story time. My friends in my high school Latin class, as well as a few other classes, literally were eating packing peanuts because the idea was when we eat packing peanuts, which we can't digest, it makes us feel full, so we don't have to eat, and we're not going to feel hungry, and we're going to lose weight.
The supreme ecstasies of life for me. Besides having Jesus, besides being a hot guy to those top-notch girls, which I wish I was. That's another thing I want to discuss in another video. If I'm not a hot guy.
Work on the hair, work on the weight, maybe, dress better, I don't know.
I want to do something to get myself killed because I don't want to live. Also, if I cannot get limb lifting surgery so I can have longer forearms, those females who are.
I'm just imagining that Borzoi meme where the dog's snout just keeps extending.
Tall, good looking, but not taller than me. if I cannot get them into the surgery or a miracle, I'm wasting my life. I may eventually kill one of my enemies.
Who are your enemies? I can't wait to hear this one.
I'll do it in a legal way. I'll piss them off and get them to attack me so I can kill them in self-defense. And
Okay. One, pissing somebody off is not a guarantee they're going to attack you. And two, in most states, you're not allowed to defend yourself using lethal force unless the other person is basically attacking you with lethal force.
not have to go to jail.
You'd probably still go to jail and still have to go through the trial, but, you know.
Want to, but when I get angry, when I'm my normal person in normal loving mode, but when I'm in anger mode, every time I see my form short, I want one of my enemies to attack me so I can kill them in self-defense.
But your arms aren't long enough to do that. You need to lengthen your arms first, man.
To feel good about being about myself. It's just when I get angry, if I can destroy someone who does not like me, if I can destroy society, I feel a little bit better about myself. What would make me feel supremely better is if I could get long forms, and long arms, and be in a hot, top-notch sky. This is what truly makes me happy. If I cannot have this, I curse God. I curse the heavens He dwells in. I know it's dangerous. I know it's gonna incur God's wrath. But if I'm not happy with myself, I don't give a good goddamn. I don't. I just don't give a fucking shit. Look at these girls. I just know my form is not longer than this girl's right here.
Okay, first of all, you're not pointing at her forearm, but
that makes me want to curse God rapidly and violently. That makes me want to curse the Holy Ghost and commit, because, I don't want to. I definitely don't want to commit the unpardonable sin. When I get angry, when I see these good-looking girls, and I know that these girls would not think I'm a good-looking guy, and that, not only that my elbow wrist is a lot longer than theirs, this makes me, I lose control, and I start cursing God violently, repeatedly. Somebody left this comment in one of my videos. In fact,
let's see.
The name of the video is this. Let's read what they said. I'm not going to read it because it's a chore to read, because my stroke makes it so when I read, I stumble over the word. So it's a tedious chore to have to read out loud to people. It's a tedious chore.
I have a funny story. So, I was a little kid one time, right? And we were visiting a hospital. We were in a hospital. I don't remember why. My mother and I were in a hospital, and the elevator opened, and this person was just in a cot, like a hospital bed thing that was being pushed around. And I just started laughing uncontrollably. My mother got really mad at me, but I didn't know why I was laughing, and I wasn't trying to make fun of the person in the hospital bed. I just had never seen that before. My reaction was to laugh.
Have a dialogue with anybody. I used to love the talk till I had my stroke. Love.
If I was the big tuna,
You can attract more honey with it. You can attract more bees with honey.
depends on the species of bee. There are bees that are not at all attracted to honey. Like bumblebees and everything in the Megakylidae. Don't forget the Megakylid lives matter too, you know.
That you can with shit.
So I had a therapist one time say, kind of like, you were talking about, like, how I should go about trying to address conflicts with other people. And, he was trying to make a case for not swearing at people. I don't consider myself to be short-tempered or violent or angry. But I have a really bad fucking mouth. And sometimes when I get really, like, fired up because I'm passionate about something and really excited, or I get, kind of frustrated, I run my mouth like I'm having, like, verbal cuss word diarrhea, almost, out of my mouth. And yes, you can actually diarrhea out of your mouth if your bowel is blocked, um, badly enough, but that's a different story. Um, and he said, if you're trying to attract flies, would you use honey or vinegar? Well, it depends entirely on the species of fly that I'm looking to attract, because some are going to visit with vinegar, such as species that feed on fermenting plant materials, such as most members of the Drosophilidae, or honey for species that are attracted to sugary, starchy shit, like, various other things, including tachinids and caliphorids, although you can also attract caliphorids with fucking dead bodies.
That's right. But what if you live in a world where people are all flies?
I would love there to be more dipterans around. I don't think there are enough dipterans on Earth, honestly.
Then you need to be. You can attract more flies with shit. Then you.
It depends on the species of fly. So, actually, the Tachinidae is the largest fly family. Tachinidae has, oh Jesus, like 26,000 described species or something. Give me a minute. Very, very cute. Oh, 8,200, sorry. My bad. Cutesy wootsy. Compsora. Yeah. So, Diptera is one of the big four. Talk about the big four. That is so cool. I want to get one. It's beautiful. Look how cute it is. It's so cute. Megacelia. We have a Megacelia infestation in my house right now. It's not nice to call somebody just apple mellow. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so Diptera are part of the big four. Big four are your four largest insect orders. They are the Coleoptera, Lepidoptera, Diptera, Hymenoptera. Now, the Coleoptera is the biggest, followed by either the Lepidoptera or the Hymenoptera. We don't really know, so there are approximately, let's just go back for a sec. Um, yeah, so the big four are the Hymenoptera, which has 150,000 species. The Lepidoptera has 180,000 species. Coleoptera is like half million, and then Diptera is slightly smaller. That looks like a polyphemus moth caterpillar. Okay.
I want people to die. Because it gets more people will come to me when I'm this way than they do when I'm. Nobody comes to me or pays me attention when I care, when I'm loving, when I'm kind.
Yeah, I know that struggle. Unfortunately, people are not very attentive. I don't think that's a good argument to do something bad, but that's just me.
When I'm trying to make everybody happy, nobody pays me attention. But if people pay me attention, why wish death on people? Wish there were more mass shootings in this country?
Are you kidding me?
Mass shootings of people who deserve to die, not of women and children, but of tough guys.
Oh boy. Where do we start? I'm gonna take a sip of this Red Bull. I'm not convinced that killing people is the best way to solve almost any, if not all, of our problems. I think that there are ways to reason with basically everyone. Now, do I think that we have some problems that might be solvable by killing people? Sure. But even those, I don't think the only solution would be to kill people. I think there are other solutions that don't involve violence.
People in authority. Let me tell you something. Dear Matt Little Honey, dear Aron Ra, I wish murder was legal. Because if it was, I would hunt you down and I would kill you.
Why? I mean, like, I think Aron Ra could take you, to be quite honest, but I honestly don't see any reason to be violent towards either of those people.
I would. Now why in the fuck would I kill you if murder was legal, Matt Little Honey, Aron Ra? Because you will not you will not do a live stream exchanges of ideas with me.
Nobody is obligated to do a live stream with you. Nobody has to live stream with you.
So I can get some peace of mind. So I can get to the truth. You will not pay me any attention. You will not help me get on the map. Matt Dill Honey, if murder was legal, another reason I'd kill you is this. When I called on your show, you didn't say, how are you? I hope you're having a nice day. You were rude to me from the start before I even started speaking. You and Jimmy Snow.
I find that a little hard to believe.
The first thing Jimmy Snow said was, I'm not interested in what any prophecies that are going to be fulfilled. I'm not.
Yeah, people have the right to say that.
Interested. You never said, I hope you're having a nice day. And for that reason, if murder was legal, I'd kill you. You treated me like a subservient slave instead of like a VIP. Matt Little Honey, you would not listen to my entire argument. You kept butting in, being facetious, not serious. You're not serious to having the serious discussion.
I wonder if his account has any
love.
The hell?
I had my audition this afternoon at 3:19 for Americans Got Talent. Now how the fuck did it go? I'm not holding my breath. I just feel it in my bones. I'm not going to the next round. What a goddamn shame. Well, I don't blame them. I'm just not fucking good enough. At the very least, I hope they play my audition video so people can see my son baby punch my face, and I can get a little infamy, a little fucking traffic to watch my fucking video, even if they laugh. If enough people watch, maybe people will fucking know, fucking find out who the fuck I am, and then hear my fucking story. Maybe I could be put on a fucking goddamn map. Here's why I got a bad feeling. I did my audition. I think she said it was good. I think. I can't remember because remember I'm on Trazodone. I've been on Trazodone since 2013. They say that kind of messes up with the short-term memory. I think she said it was good. I don't know. She said something. But if she did say it was good, what did she really think so, or was that just something she says to everybody? But they said if you go through the next round, we'll email you by April. If you don't hear from us, you know that old saying, "Don't call us, we'll call you." Get used to it. Get over it. It's the music business. That's the way it is. I like that. They tell you like it is. I like that. I love that. But here's what she said. When we got put into the meeting rooms. What the fuck? And that was right. And we did where they had a few of us in the room to audition in turn. She said, when you finish your audition, before you leave the room, wait till your next auditioner.
Let's see what else is on this video. Let's just skip ahead a little bit.
This makes me think that they did not like me. It's God fucking damn it. But it said, it's not saying that, yeah, but what it said was the host has removed you from the video. You cannot get back in. I removed myself. Did I fucking fuck up and do something fucking wrong? Or did they just or did the host just not like me?
The hell is all? I mean, like,
Oh boy, we're about to see Matt get riled up. I love it when Matt gets riled up and cusses, and especially when he says "fucking." I think he's got underlying issues of rage. He's trying to pretend them away, or trying to cover them up. I'm trying to minimize these issues that are pissing him off, and it's manifesting itself in the language he uses.
I mean, people can use the F word all they want, and it doesn't necessarily mean they're having a rage issue.
He's angry. He's jaded. I'm no psychiatrist, but it doesn't take a psychiatrist to see from a person's behavior when something's fucked up inside the head. Listen to this.
Chris.
Yeah.
Nikki just asked you how you convinced yourself, and it seems that what you did in response to that was mumble and then suggest that I got more hostile or more aggravated when you mentioned Jesus. Is that what you're trying to do right now?
Look.
Is that what you're trying to do right now?
Hey, don't raise your voice at me, dog.
I will fucking have a voice at you whenever I want, you lying piece of shit who just accused me of stuff that didn't happen.
Hey, dog.
You've been deflecting.
Hey,
No, your ass is
listen.
muted. Now you're muted, bitch.
Love it. Well, I gotta hear that again.
Oxen, you're muted, bitch. Listen. I listened to you.
I love it.
Your little game, and I did your little tap dance. And you want to accuse me of doing something that I did not do. Nikki and I have sat here and patiently hand-walked your ass down to realizations that are uncomfortable. And I'm genuinely sorry that you are so uncomfortable right now that instead of actually answering the question that Nikki asked or answering the question that I asked, you decided to turn this around and be like, well, I noticed things started getting rather hostile as soon as I mentioned Jesus. Are you an idiot? I was a Christian for more than 30 years. I have no fear or anger or anything else with regard to somebody mentioning Jesus. What I have...
This guy's got 362 videos.
I think I have found out why I cannot totally deconvert from Jesus and leave him behind. I think I found out. I think I know why. A lot of atheists say it is an emotional connection, a simulacrum, an interaction with a creation in your own mind because you truly believe it. As a Ghostbusters said, the real Ghostbusters cartoon on the episode Elementary, My Dear Watson, belief made manifest. Enough people believe there is a Sherlock Holmes, people start seeing the ghost of Sherlock Holmes and interacting with it. Man, I'm so ugly. Anyways, it's more than for me. It's more than just an emotional connection. All my life, I felt something was wrong. something was not complete in me. Something was lacking. And this was in such a way that it was disquieting. No matter how much good I did, it could not make me feel I was good enough. This disquietedness within me. No matter how many books I read by Dr. George G. Ritchie, Return from Tomorrow, about how loving Jesus was. And all you had to do was do your best to get in heaven. There are still, when the lights quieted down, I was by myself, I didn't have my music playing, something was troubled deep down inside of me.
Is he going to make a point here?
Something was wrong. No matter how much I read my Bible, how I tried to have fun and forget about it, I couldn't forget about it. No matter how much I read about near-death experiences, about how Jesus was all loving, loved everybody, I could not get rid of this troubling within. Disturbance.
We have medications for that.
Melancholy. Not a melancholy, but a disturbance. I had to do things to try to get my mind off it. But when I finally gave to Jesus what I had been holding back for 30 years, 32, 35 years, something happened. I don't have this disquietedness within me. It was replaced by something that makes me want to be good. I know I'm not good because I'm angry. But there's something happened. Something changed in me that in a way that no other religion, no other near-death experience account could change me. And this is the right reason that in spite of the fact that I do not believe the Exodus happened, and at least it is according to the Bible, I know the creation story of Adam and Eve was plagiarized based on an earlier Sumerian text. A lot of the Bible was plagiarized. I just can't give up on Jesus.
Good to know. Has anybody else suffered some brain damage from watching all that? In all seriousness, I don't necessarily think this guy is an actual threat to anyone. I don't think he has the means to actually do anything bad as much as he threatens to. I think that he has a need for attention, so I don't recommend people go over and give him that attention. If my channel grows bigger than it currently is, I will probably take this video down. One of the advantages of having a small channel is that you can't really be accused of giving somebody, the negative attention they want, because I have 9 subscribers, and my videos have like 3 to 25 views on average. It's not like I'm getting like millions of views or anything like that, and that's fine. I definitely don't intend to be a full-time YouTuber at all, but there are a few things that I feel need to be said here. First of all, this guy is not representative of the Christian community. He's not representative of the autistic community. He's not representative of really any community, honestly. This guy needs some help. He does a lot of weird stuff, and I kind of feel bad because this dude has a lot of shit to work through. I don't know if religion is healthy for him, or anybody for that matter. But I did kind of comb through his videos because he keeps talking about having evidence for Jesus. I'd really like to see evidence for, God and Jesus and, whatever is out there, And I don't just mean, like, was Jesus a real person? I don't know, maybe, probably, possibly, I don't fucking know. But as far as divinity, as far as God and all that, I'd like, somebody who actually believes to bring forth some decent evidence at some point. So with that, stay pedantic, be romantic if you want, and be far away from the Atlantic, I guess.